You know? Me.
ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले Sorry. स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादां सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगे राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते जयपताका स्वामिनिति नामिने नमो आचार्यपादाय कृपाप्रदायिने गौरकथा धामदाय नगर ग्राम तारिणे नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणिचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरं हरि ओं तत्सत्। Hare Krishna. So let's start from verse text number 54. Sujata Mataji, will you repeat after this?
Yes, Mataji.
Arjun Uvacha.
Arjuna Uvacha.
Sthitapragnasya ka bhasa.
Sthitapragnasya ka bhasha.
Samadhisthasya Keshava.
Samadhisthasya Keshava.
Sthitadhihi kim prabhasheta.
Sthitatadhi kim prabhasheta.
Kimasita vrajeta kim.
Kimasita vrajeta kim. Arjuna Uvacha. Arjun said, Sthita Pragyasya, of one who is situated in fixed Krishna consciousness. Ka, what? Bhasa, language. Samadhi, sthasya, of one situated in trance. Keshava, O Krishna. Sthita dhihi, one fixed in Krishna consciousness. Kim, what? Prabhasheta, speaks. Kim, how? Asita, does remain still. Vrajeta, walks. Kim, how? Arjuna said, O Krishna, what are the symptoms of one whose consciousness is thus merged in transcendence? How does he speak and what is his language? How does he sit and how does he walk?
Yeah. One second, Sujata Mataji. So, Krishna in the previous verses, if we remember, Bhagwan Krishna ने अर्जुन को कई सारे instructions दिए. He began from how we should do karma, what is karma, what are the duties, and how one should do his karma, his duties. So from Sakam karma, Lord Krishna tells to do Nishkam karma. One should do his duty without expecting any result. And then from Nishkam Karma, one should, he tells, tells Arjuna to do yoga. Yoga means to do all the work, all the activities for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord Krishna. And what is the result of doing this yoga? इसका result क्या होगा अगर हम हर कार्य भगवान के लिए करेंगे?
So your soul will merge with the super soul?
Well, we are not trying to merge actually.
Merge. I mean,
Yeah.
This.
Free from bondage of work, Mataji.
Yes, yes. So first thing that we see is the person becomes free from the karmic bondage, right? So when we do everything for the pleasure of Krishna, meaning we will follow Krishna's instructions, we will follow Krishna's representatives' instructions, the Guru's instructions, the Shastra's instructions, and this is how we please Krishna. So by doing that, we rise above the material bondage, karmic bondage, right? And we are situated in transcendence. Transcendence means we transcend the three modes of material nature. जब हम भगवान के instructions को follow करते हैं तो जो माया देवी के जो 3 गुण हैं वो अपना जो जाल है, अपना जो उसका जो the knots of 3 modes of material bondage, they loosen. वो लूज कर देते हैं दुर्गा देवी हमें. अभी हमारे हाथ बंधे हुए हैं. It is tightly bound by 3 ropes of goodness, passion, ignorance. लेकिन जब हम योगा करते हैं, like in our case we are doing what? Bhakti yoga, right? So Krishna tells Arjuna to do bhakti yoga actually, meaning whenever we do anything to please Krishna, there is bhakti yoga. So Krishna also tells Arjuna that you should do yoga, means you should do all your activity to please me, meaning he was also indicating Arjun that you fight for me, because I want this fight. I want to kill all the adharmic people. So you just be an instrument for me. You fight on my behalf. Don't fight for your own self. So that will become yoga. That will please me, and then that will also liberate you from the bondage. Even though you will be killing so many people, you will still not be bound by any papa. You will be liberated. So the same message is for all of us, that whatever we are doing, whatever situation we are in, we must try to just follow the instructions of Lord Krishna given in the scriptures, given by our acharyas and gurus. And if we do so, then we will transcend the 3 modes. We will be freed from the material bondage, and we will be situated in transcendence. तो अब अर्जुन का अगला प्रश्न अब ये है कि what are the symptoms of those whose consciousness is thus merged in transcendence? जो इस 3 गुणों से ऊपर उठ चुके हैं, परे हो गए हैं, जो those who are liberated souls, उनका क्या symptom है? उनको हम कैसे पहचानेंगे? वो कैसा बोलते हैं, कौन सा लैंग्वेज बोलते हैं, किस तरह से बैठते हैं, किस तरह से उठते हैं? सो हर एक का सिम्टम होता है ना. जैसे एक बिजनेसमैन का अपना एक तौर तरीका होता है उठने बैठने का, लैंग्वेज उनका है कि नहीं? टीचर्स का अपना होता है, जो प्रोफेशन में जो होता है उनका अपना अपना एक बॉडी लैंग्वेज होता है, एक तरीका होता है. तो वैसे ही अर्जुन इज आस्किंग कि जो लोग मुक्त आत्मा होते हैं उनका क्या सिम्टम है, वो किस तरह से बोलते हैं, क्या लैंग्वेज बोलते हैं, कैसे उठते बैठते हैं? So let's go ahead, Purport.
As there are symptoms for each and every man in terms of his particular situation, similarly, one who is Krishna conscious has his particular nature, talking, walking, thinking, feeling, etc. As a rich man has his symptoms by which he is known as a rich man, as a diseased man has his symptoms by which he is known as diseased, or as a learned man has his symptoms, so a man in transcendental consciousness of Krishna has specific symptoms in various dealings. One can know his specific symptoms from the Bhagwadgita. Most important is how the man in Krishna consciousness speaks, for speech is the most important quality of any man. It is said that a fool is undiscovered as long as he does not speak, and certainly a well-dressed fool cannot be identified unless he speaks. But as soon as he speaks, he reveals himself at once. The immediate symptom of a Krishna conscious man is that he speaks only of Krishna and of matters relating to him. Other symptoms then automatically follow, as stated below.
Yeah. So the most important
Correct.
symptom is what? Our
How they speak. Our
yeah,
speech.
our speech matters a lot. What we speak.
How we
Prabhupada
speak.
also says that it is said that a fool is undiscovered as long as he does not speak. And certainly a well-dressed fool cannot be identified unless he speaks. But as soon as he speaks, he reveals himself at once. है कि नहीं? जब कोई बातें करता है तो हम पता लगा सकते हैं कि कितना बुद्धिमान है और कितने पानी में है. What is his status? What is his character? Everything we can find out by the speech of a person, right? So even for a Krishna conscious person, the most important aspect of his character is his speech. What does he speak? किनके बारे में बात करता है? The Krishna conscious person, naturally he speaks only about Krishna and of matters relating to him. Other symptoms then automatically follow. वो हमेशा कृष्ण की ही बातें करते हैं और बाकी सारे symptoms वो अपने आप उनको follow करेंगे. Who wants to read next verse? Jaya Mata ji, आपको करना है? You can unmute yourself.
Yeah, yes, Mataji. I read.
Yeah.
Shall I read, Mataji? After
Yeah,
you?
you can repeat after me. Yeah. Shri
Yeah.
Bhagavan Uvacha
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Prajahati Yada Kaman
Prajahati Yada Kaman
Sarvan Partha Manogatan
Sarvan Partha Manogatan
Atmanyevatmana Tushtaha
Atmanyevatmana Tushtha
Sthita Prajnastadochyate.
Sthita Prajnastadochyate. Shall I read the
Yeah,
words, ma'am?
synonyms and translation.
Yeah. I read the synonyms first. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Prajahati gives up, Yadaha, when, command desires for sense gratification, Sarvan of all varieties, Partha, O son of Partha, Manaha Gatan of mental concoction, Atmani in a pure state of the soul, Eva certainly, Atmana by purified mind, Tusha satisfied, Sthita Prajna transcendentally situated, Tadaha at that time, Uchyate is said. The personality of Godhead said, O Partha, when a man gives up all varieties of desire for sense gratification which arise from mental concoction, and when his mind thus purified finds satisfaction in the self, then he is said to be in a pure transcendental consciousness.
Okay, Maharaj. So when we talk about pure transcendental consciousness, meaning one who is completely liberated. So
Yeah.
the person who is completely liberated from the material bondage and material life, materialistic life, उनका एक characteristic है कि उनका speech सबसे पहला तो what does he speak? So he always speaks about Krishna. Secondly, he has given up all varieties of desire for sense gratification. Right? Normally हमारे दिमाग में हमेशा कोई ना कोई planning चलती है कि नहीं? Do we keep planning? ये करना है, वो करना है, shopping करना है, इधर जाना है, उधर जाना है, vacation जाना है कि नहीं? So this is arising from the mental concoction. Yeah, so the mind keeps telling us that only if I do this, I'll be so happy. Only if I know all my desires, and these desires are there not just today or now, but it is there since time immemorial. It is there in our hearts, material desires, right? And because of which we are doing different kinds of karmas. So all this is arising from mental concoction. But for a person who is in pure transcendental consciousness, because he has practiced giving his mind to Krishna, so he has no material desires at all now. No desire for sense gratification. वो अपने बारे में सोचते ही नहीं है कि now he will not think of where should I go that I will get happiness, which place should I go for vacation or all this. They don't think about all this. Why? Because now their pleasure is in the self, within their heart. They have found the real happiness within their heart. So wherever they are, they will be happy. It's not that they have to go somewhere or
Where
do
to be.
something to find happiness. They are already situated in that state where they are finding happiness in the self. Okay, so they have given up all varieties of desire for sense gratification, which is arising from the mental concoction. So why it is they have given up? Because their mind has become completely purified by practicing devotional service. So when we've practiced the Navavidha Bhakti, 9 process of devotional service, beginning from chanting, then Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. Ye Navavidha Bhakti hai. And then following the 4 regulative principles, honoring Krishna Prasadam, all this, and then associating with devotees. So this is so powerful that when a devotee practices this very seriously, very with determination and with with all discipline, he follows this, then his heart, his mind gets completely purified. Okay, and so when his mind is purified, he is completely satisfied within himself. Okay, so let's see the purport.
Yeah. The purport. Bhagavatam affirms that any person who is fully in Krishna consciousness or devotional service of the Lord has all the good qualities of great sages, whereas a person who is not so transcendentally situated has no good qualification because he is sure to be taking refuge in his own mental concoctions. Consequently, it is rightly said herein that one has to give up all kind of sense desires manufactured by mental concoction. Artificially, such sense desires cannot be stopped. But if one is engaged in Krishna consciousness, then automatically sense desires subside without extraneous efforts. Therefore, one has to engage himself in the Krishna consciousness without hesitation for this devotional service will instantly help one onto the platform of transcendental consciousness. The highly developed soul always remains satisfied in himself by realizing as an eternal servitor of the Supreme Lord. Such a transcendentally situated person has no desire resulting from petty materialisms. Rather, he remains always happy in his natural position of eternally serving the Supreme Lord.
Yeah. So a person who is situated in transcendence, so his characteristics are that he is always identifying, he knows that he is an eternal servant of Lord Krishna, and so when he knows that he is an eternal servant of Krishna, he is always serving Krishna, right? Through his various senses. Through his ears, he is always hearing about Krishna. Through his mouth, he is always honoring Krishna Prasadam and talking about Krishna. Through his eyes, he is always seeing the beauty of Lord Krishna, the Archa Vigraha. Then through his intelligence, he is always serving Krishna by reading the scriptures, understanding the scriptures. So he is engaging his mind and intelligence in the service of Krishna. Through his body, he cleans his own house, knowing that this is a temple of Krishna, and also going to the temple, walking all the way to temple. All this is serving with the body, mind, and senses. So now, because he's completely engaged in the service of Krishna, so his mind, body, senses, everything has become purified. And so he has no other material desires left, but he has only spiritual desire to serve Krishna. So this is the position of a liberated soul. Whereas on the other hand, we see in materialistic life, what are people doing? They are just running after sense gratification. Ek desire pura hua nahi ki now they are running for another. Why? Because that satisfaction they are not getting. Right? Although they may fulfill one desire and they feel some happiness, after some time, they again want some more happiness, some kind of different happiness. That is why we see, especially in youngsters, they want to explore, right? So even nowadays in colleges, we see young girls, boys, everybody's doing all sorts of wrong things because they think we want to explore, we want to know, we want happiness. So in search of happiness, they end up doing wrong things one after the other, and that leads to suffering. Later on, they suffer for everything wrong that they do, but they don't realize at that time, right? So the material pleasures are such that immediate pleasure तो हमें मिल जाएगा, लेकिन उसका result भी हमें मिलता है, reaction भी मिलता है, which leads to suffering later on in life. For example, a young boy may think it's so nice to drink alcohol. बहुत अच्छा लगता है, बहुत मजा आता है. He will start drinking and he will not even come to know वो कब addiction हो जाता है. And then he will keep on drinking, and later on, after 20 years, 30 years, he will have liver disease and heart disease and so on. Right? So we see the consequences is always there. Whatever we do, we will get the consequence. So in material life, whatever we are trying to find happiness wherever, it is all mental concoction. The mind says, oh, you do this, you'll be happy. Oh, you do that, you'll be happy. But actually, there is no real happiness there. Whereas our real happiness lies in our original position as being the servant of Krishna. So when we engage our body, mind, senses, everything in service of Krishna, then automatically, first of all, we become satisfied. We means the soul becomes completely satisfied. So when we are completely satisfied, no longer we will search for happiness in the outside world, in the material
Outside world.
So how will we deal with the material world? That also will come. So if we are happy and satisfied from within, then how does a person who is liberated, how does he deal with the material world? Now, this is my question to all of you, maybe just a discussion. How do you think he will deal in the material world? He will live in the material world. Because now he is engaging everything, his body, mind, senses, like everything in Krishna's service.
But the routine dealing will happen, but without attachment to the fruit of the activities. The results will not impact.
Yes. And yes, so it will come further that Krishna says that such a person, even though he is liberated, he will still do his duties. ऐसा नहीं कि वो अपनी material duties को give up कर देगा.
He will perform
still do his duties. If he is a grihastha, brahmachari, vanaprastha, sannyasi, whichever varna or whichever ashram he is, he will continue to do his duties. Why? Because Krishna says we have to become an example for the general people. So even though if somebody is a liberated soul, he should still perform his duties so that other people can know how to do our duties, how to become liberated, how to perform our duties. Right? So he will continue to do his duties, but without attachment, as Swati mentioned, he will do all his duties without attachment. He will do it for the sake of doing the duty because it is his duty, so he will perform it very nicely. But he will understand in the heart that it is Krishna only who is actually the supreme controller, supreme enjoyer, and supreme owner of everything. Not even a tinge of materialism is there in his heart. He doesn't think that I am the doer or I am the caretaker of the family. It is because of me that my family is, they get to eat or they are surviving. Normally हमें ऐसे ही लगता है ना, मैं हूँ इसीलिए मेरा family है. अगर मैं नहीं रहूंगी तो family मेरा कैसे चलेगा? So this is
He
like
doesn't have
false
any
ego.
expectations.
Yeah, and then we have expectations also. I do so much. My family should also reciprocate with me. So, but a liberated soul, a Krishna conscious person, he will do his duties, but he will not have any expectations from anyone. He will do his duties very nicely without any attachment, without any desire or desire for any result. Whatever is the result, he will accept as Krishna's will. So even suppose after doing his duties, he is not happy for some reason because the family members, maybe some person is not happy or some difficulties there, some problem is there. Still, he doesn't get perplexed. He doesn't give up his faith on Krishna. He knows that Krishna is always there and Krishna will take care. So he has complete faith in Krishna. Now, for example, if we take the Pandavas themselves, how many difficulties did they face in their entire life? Can you remember what all difficulties did the Pandavas face in their lives?
The number of
Like in
times,
childhood.
yeah, the number of times Duryodhana and his brothers tried to kill them, tried to show them down. They had to bear with everything. So many times they were put to risk, life threat also. But then they were not affected by it. They just moved on, performing their task and moving on without
Yes.
getting affected.
Yes. So since childhood, actually, Kunti Maharani, first of all, we can take both Kunti and Pandavas for that matter. Because Kunti's husband Pandu, he died when the Pandavas were very small,
Yeah.
very young, right? And she alone had to raise them. Then after that, even when they were small children, they always had to face difficulties posed by Duryodhan. Duryodhan always wanted to kill them, especially Bhim. So Bhim ko unhone poison diya tha, and he tried to kill him. Still Bhim survived. Then unko fir, he sent them for holiday for 1 year, and there he very nicely he had planned कि वहां पे लैक हाउस बनाकर वहां पे उनको ठहराएंगे, and then he will set it on fire, which he did, but they did not die. They still escaped. So all this was happened because they were pure devotees of Lord Krishna. So Krishna always saved them. And then gambling match. So in gambling match, Yudhishthir got really bewildered and caught in the gambling match. And then when he lost everything, then Draupadi, there was a test for Draupadi in the entire assembly. So many males were there, heroes were there, they were great soldiers, they were great heroic personalities, yet nobody could save Draupadi. Ultimately, whom did she call for? She surrendered to
Krishna.
Krishna. Hey Krishna, hey Yadav, hey Sakheti. She just raised her hands and remembered Krishna, and Krishna immediately came to protect Draupadi. And then after that, they even had to go on exile for 12 years. So many difficulties, one after another, there were some difficulties, but still, they never gave up their faith on Krishna. They never gave up their duties. As a king, whatever their duty was, they always did their duty because that was Krishna's desire. So they understood that Krishna has put me in this situation as a king or as a prince, so I have to do my duty. So they always performed their duty. They never gave up their faith on Krishna. They never lost their faith, even though difficulties came in their life. They never questioned, why is this coming to me? I am a devotee. Why is Krishna giving me all this? They never questioned Krishna like that. They always had faith that whatever is happening, it is either my own karma, which I have to tolerate, or it is Krishna's will and Krishna will protect me. Krishna has his own plans, so I must just surrender to Krishna. So this is how a devotee should think, should lead his life. So a devotee is the highly developed soul always remains satisfied in himself by realizing himself as an eternal servitor of the Supreme Lord. So within his heart, he is always satisfied. Like even the Pandavas, when they were in the exile, so they were in the forest along with Draupadi. Okay, but internally, although they were in the forest and they didn't have royal palaces and royal bed to sleep on, but they spend their time in satsanga. They got association of such highly elevated souls, so many great sages. Srila Vyasadeva, they met Srila Vyasadeva himself. They met so many great sages on the way in during their exile. They even Arjuna met Bhim met Hanuman, Lord Hanuman. Arjun met Lord Shiva also. He even went to the Indralok. So their exile was also the way they spent their life, their time, 12 years, was really amazing in association of great souls and learning the lessons of life, learning spiritual knowledge. This is how they spend their life. So internally, they were always satisfied because they were realized souls that we are eternal servants of the Supreme Lord Krishna. So such a transcendentally situated person has no sense desires resulting from petty materialism, right? So they have no sense desires resulting from petty materialism. On the other hand, if we see Duryodhan had everything. Okay, he had actually no reason to usurp all the properties or kingdom of Yudhishthir Maharaj. Actually, he had even much more larger kingdom than Pandavas. Okay, he already had the greater share. Still, he was so greedy that he wanted more and more. So, and although he wanted more, he even got it, still he was never happy. Because of my mental concoction, he was always thinking how to get more, and then he was always scared of future. What if the Pandavas, they come back, and when they fight, what will happen in the fight? What if I lose the battle? What if I lose all my kingdom? So even though he had everything, he was never happy. So this is the result of materialistic way of life and the result of spiritual way of life. Both the kind of people are living in the same world. They both are doing the same things. Still, what is the thought process of a spiritual person, and what is the thought process of a material person? And the result also. A materialistic person is never happy in whatever situation he is. Even though he will get the best of things, he will never be happy. He will have something or the other to crib on, to lament, or to hanker for something more. Whereas a spiritual person will always be satisfied in whatever situation he is, whether good or bad. If he is in the good situation also, he will give the credit to Krishna. He will always say that it is Krishna's mercy. And even if he is in the bad situation, he will accept it as his own karma and also as Krishna's mercy and dependent on Krishna's will and protection. So he's always satisfied within in his heart. So these are the two kind of people. So now the choice for us is which way do we want to go? Do we want to follow the materialistic way of life like Duryodhan, who was never happy, although he had everything? Or we want to live a spiritual way of life like the Pandavas, who had everything also, and even when they did not have anything, they were always happy. They were always satisfied from within. So real happiness, real satisfaction comes from our eternal relationship with Krishna, our service to Krishna. So a person, highly developed soul or a person, he remains always happy in his natural position of eternally serving the Supreme Lord. Okay, we go to the next verse. Leena Mataji, you want to repeat this verse? Dukkeshvanudvigna manaha
Dukkeshvanudvigna manaha
Sukheshu vigata spruha
Sukheshu vigata spruha
Vitaraga bhaya krodha
Vitaraga bhaya krodha
Stitidhir munir uchyate.
Stitadhir munir uchyate. Dukkeshu, in the threefold miseries, Anudvigna manaha, without being agitated in mind, Sukheshu, in happiness, Vigata spruha.
Yeah, please continue.
Vigata spruha, without being interested, Vita, free from raga, attachment, bhaya, fear, Krodha, and anger, Sthitaha dihi, whose mind is steady, Munihi, a sage, Uchyate, is called. One who is not disturbed in mind, even amidst the threefold miseries, or elated when there is happiness, and who is free from attachment, fear, and anger, is called a sage of steady mind. Bapre. Very difficult.
Yeah. So what is the next characteristic of a person who is in transcendence? What is the characteristic? Leena Mataji, you can repeat.
Characteristic of a person who is free from the threefold miseries, no attachment, and
No. He is not free. He is not free.
He is not disturbed.
In mind.
He's not disturbed within the threefold miseries or elated when there is a happy situation, and one who is free from attachment, fear, and anger. Oof.
Yeah, so as long as we are in the material world, it is not that we will be free from the ups and downs of the material world. Okay, so even a liberated soul will have to face ups and downs of the material world. Like the Pandavas, why did they face so many difficulties? Kunti Maharani, why did she face so many difficulties? Srila Prabhupada, if you read his biography, he faced so many difficulties. So even though one may be a liberated soul also, the nature of the material world is such that, time, because we are all bound by the time, kala. So time ka apna ek nature hai. Just like, we have seasons. We have, right now we have a summer season. So this summer season will stay for few months, right? How much ever you try, ye mujhe season nahi chahiye, it is not in your hands, right? We are bound by the nature. So nature has its own way of working. So summer season hai, so we have to tolerate it. Next, whatever season will come, we have to tolerate that. We cannot say that, no, I don't want this. So similarly, sukh aur dukh hamare destiny mein jitna bhi we are destined according to our past karmas, it will come according to its own accord. Happiness will also come according to its own accord, and distress will also come according to its own accord. Even though you do not want happiness or distress, it will come, whatever is in your destiny. Okay, but a person who is in transcendence, or who has transcended the three modes, what is his characteristic? How does he behave when there is happiness or when there is distress? How does he behave? So when there is distress, okay, suppose there is some kind of misery, for example, this COVID situation, everybody had to go through this, right? Even agar koi liberated soul hoga, wo bhi to COVID se guzra hi na. 2 saal, 2 years lockdown, even he had to stay in one place. So everybody had to go through that, right? But such person will not be disturbed in mind. Definitely that person must have not been disturbed in mind. So, and they are never elated when there is happiness. Agar kuch acha bhi ho gaya, to aisa nahi ki bahut khush ho jayenge ki wow, I have got everything in my life now. No, because they know the nature of the world, that even though there is some happiness, it is temporary and it will go away anytime. And so they are happy when there is happiness, but not that बहुत ज्यादा खुश हो जाएंगे happiness आ गया तो, या अगर दुख आ गया तो बहुत ज्यादा दुखी हो जाएंगे, thinking that now everything is over, my life is gone. No, they know that everything is temporary. Even the bad phase will go away, and even the good time will go away at its own time. So they do not get affected by either good or bad. They are always equipoised. Of course, they do get happy when there is happiness. They do become sad when there is bad phase, but they don't get too sad or too depressed. They will take shelter of Lord Krishna. Even when the bad phase comes, there is some sadness, they will immediately take shelter of Lord Krishna, that Krishna is there. I must take shelter of Krishna. And that is how they can overcome the bad phase. And when happiness comes, they give credit to Krishna, that it is because of Krishna's mercy, I am in this situation, or this phase is there. So they are free from attachment, free from anger. And so they are called a sage of steady mind. So their mind is very steady. It is not disturbed. It does not waver. Do we all want to have such mind, steady mind?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Definitely, Mataji.
Yeah. So it's so nice. This is where happiness lies, actually, when our mind is steady. Because if it's only our mind through which we are either experiencing happiness or distress. So if we train our mind to become steady in every situation, then we will always be happy, like at least be satisfied and not get bewildered by the changes of the material world, because that is bound to happen. The different changes will be there, ups and downs will be there. But we have to train ourselves, our mind, such that we are steady in every situation. Our mind is steady, it does not get wavered. Purport?
The word Muni means one who can agitate his mind in various ways for mental speculation without coming to a factual conclusion. It is said that every Muni has a different angle of vision, and unless a Muni differs from other Munis, he cannot be called a Muni in the strict sense of the term. Nasavas Rishir Yasya Matam Na Bhinnam Mahabharat Yana Parva Vanaparva 313.117. But a Sthita Dhira Muni, as mentioned herein by the Lord, is different from an ordinary Muni. The Sthita Dhira Muni is always in Krishna consciousness, for he has exhausted all his business of creative speculation. He is called Prashanta Nihashesha Manorathantara Stotra Ratna 43, or one who has surpassed the stage of mental speculations and has come to the conclusion that the Lord Sri Krishna or Vasudev is everything. Vasudeva Sarvam iti sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. He is called a Muni fixed in mind. Such a fully Krishna conscious person is not at all disturbed by the onslaughts of the threefold miseries, for he accepts all miseries as the mercy of the Lord, thinking himself only worthy of more trouble due to his past misdeeds, and he sees that his miseries by the grace of the Lord are minimized to the lowest.
1 minute.
Similar-
We'll stop here. We'll go slowly. So how can we have a steady mind? So there is a secret given here. How should be our thoughts when miseries come and when happiness come? So when miseries come, a Krishna conscious person, how does he think?
He thinks that by whatever miseries that he is having is very less. Actually, he should have had more, but because of the grace of the Lord, whatever is, well, he is accepting it, saying that he is so downfallen or so downtrodden that ideally he should have had more miseries than what he is facing right now.
Yes.
But we are opposite, Mataji. We feel our miseries are the worst miseries.
Yeah.
And we try and, danka bajega hum log sab jagah, kya hai mera halat. We try and talk about our miseries so much.
We want to tell 10 people
Yes,
how much
yes.
I'm suffering. Look
Suffering.
how much I'm suffering. So people enjoy also. When they talk about their suffering, there is also some kind of enjoyment there also. Subtle enjoyment. Look, I have got all the sufferings. I'm, etc. In one way, people, I've seen many people, they enjoy telling their problems to people, and they will tell the same problem repeatedly to 10 people. They will meet 10 different people, same thing they will repeat. Yeah, so this is our condition. This is conditioned soul. This is like materially conditioned soul behaves like this. But a liberated soul or a Krishna conscious person, he will always think that, oh, whatever miseries has come to me, it is actually reduced to very small. It is nothing. I deserve much more misery. I'm such a fallen soul. So that humility is there. A devotee is humble. He becomes humble. He is humble. Humble means what? Knowing that Krishna is everything. Vasudevam sarvamiti sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. So a devotee knows that Krishna is everything. Okay. And whatever karma has to come in my life, it has my own doing in my past lives. So he simply accepts it. He will not उसको वो लेकर ये oppose नहीं करेगा, किसी को blame नहीं करेगा. He will never blame anybody that because of you I am suffering. Normally we do that. राइट कुछ होता है हम किसी को ब्लेम करते हैं, किसी की वजह से मुझे ये सफर करना पड़ रहा है. बट अ डिवोटी अंडरस्टैंड दैट नोबडी इज टू बी ब्लेम्ड. दिस इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट लेसन दैट वी शुड अंडरस्टैंड. एटलीस्ट दिस वन थिंग वी शुड प्रैक्टिस कि अगर हमारी लाइफ में कोई भी डिफिकल्टी आता है, कुछ भी प्रॉब्लम आता है, नेवर ब्लेम एनीवन इन योर लाइफ. नेवर ब्लेम, इवन दो यू मे सी कि कोई किसी के डायरेक्टली किसी के वजह से मुझे मिल रहा है ये मिजरी. For example, a mother may be suffering because some wrongdoing of her child. बच्चे ने कुछ तो गलत किया, तो naturally parents also suffer. But they should never think, they should never blame the child that because of you we are suffering. No, we have to understand that it is all our karma. Even our karma, the child's karma, everything, and it is all related. Because of karma only we are together, right, in a family. So all of us are getting our own share of karma. So we should never blame anyone. Once we stop doing this, you will even stop getting more entangled in karmas. Because what happens that, we get our own reactions according to our own karma at its own time. And we end up doing more karma by blaming others. वो blame game में हम और कर्म के बंधन में बन जाते हैं. Right? So there is a very nice pastime regarding this. Have you all heard about the Kali and Parikshit Maharaj? How once Parikshit Maharaj is the grandson of Arjun. Parikshit,
Yes,
who was
ma'am.
Parikshit Maharaj? Everyone knows, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Parikshit Maharaj was a son of actually Abhimanyu.
Abhimanyu.
Yeah, and who was the son of Arjun.
Arjun.
So once Parikshit Maharaj, and being the grandson of Pandavas, naturally he was also a devotee, great devotee of Lord Krishna. So even during his rule, everything was under everything everywhere was, there was all happiness everywhere, because he was ruling in such a divine way that he was taking care of not only humans but also the plants and animals and every living entity in his kingdom. They were very happy and flourishing. So जैसे हम बोलते हैं ना, भारत, हमारा जो भारत था वो बहुत, it was a great king, our India was great, right? भारत वर्ष हम कहते हैं, सोने की चिड़िया कहते थे ना. Why? Because we had such wonderful kings who ruled our Bharatvarsh in such a Vedic way, in such a devotional way. They themselves were great devotees of Lord Krishna. So they made it sure that everybody in their kingdom, they accepted Lord Krishna as a supreme, and they did their duties as per the instructions of Lord Krishna. So everybody was happy in their kingdom. So एक बार Parikshit Maharaj जो है वो, he was just walking on the road and he saw, whom did he see? Anyone knows the story? He saw
Sage,
Kali.
Mataji. Sage,
Yeah.
and then
Mataji, a
with that-
cow. A cow,
What
Mataji.
Yeah, he saw a
Yeah.
person.
Tomorrow I will come, auntie. Otherwise, also I'll come to your home and I will give you. Or
Tanuja
you
Mataji,
come, no
can you
problem, whatever
can you
it is.
mute
Na?
yourself?
403, same like yours only. You're in 2003. We are in 403. Fourth floor. Yeah.
Okay, so what did he see? Parikshit Maharaj.
a sage
saw-
who was doing his prayers, meditating.
No, I'm not talking about that pastime, Mataji.
Okay.
Yeah, there's another pastime where he saw one person who was very dark. एकदम काला था, लेकिन वो राजा के वेश में था. And he had a whip in his hand, and he saw that there were two cows, one bull and one cow. Okay, और वो जो बुल था उसके 3 पैर कट चुके थे और वो एक ही पैर पे चल रहा था, and that also he was wobbling, and tears were coming from the eyes of the cow and the bull. So Parikshit Maharaj is very surprised that मेरे राज्य में ये कैसे हाल हो सकता है किसी भी जानवर का, because he was such a great king that he was taking care of each and every living entity. एक कुत्ते बिल्ली सब लोग, everybody in his kingdom was very happy. So what to speak of the cows who are worshipable. तो जब उन्होंने देखा कि गौ माता जो है उनके आंखों से आंसू आ रहा है, he was very surprised कि मेरे राज्य में ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है, और ये जो गाय के जो 3 पैर हैं बुल के, वो किसने काटा, कौन उसको इतना तकलीफ दे रहा है. So he asked him, stopped him and he asked him that what happened, who did this condition of yours, किसने, तो कौन तुम्हें दुख दे रहा है, कौन तकलीफ दे रहा है, ये तुम्हारे 3 पैर किसने काटे हैं. So what was his answer? He gives a very good answer, and basically he was asking, Parikshit Maharaj was asking, who did this to you? I will immediately punish that person. That means he's asking कि तुम्हारा ये हाल किसने किया है, मुझे बताओ, मैं उसको पनिश करूंगा. तो अब बुल तो डायरेक्टली बोल सकता था कि ये जो हमारा मास्टर है, he has done it, लेकिन उसने ऐसा नहीं कहा. Okay, he actually that person was Kali personified. वो जो बुल को जो मास्टर था उनका, जिसके हाथ में whip था, he was Kali personified. और तो ये बुल जो है राजा को जवाब देता है कि मेरे दुख का तो कई सारा कारण है. Okay, so my 3 legs are cut, and it is maybe my past karma. It is, so he gives many factors कि ये मेरे ही कर्मा है, मेरा ही destiny है, या the person who is my master, he is doing it. Now you decide for what reason I am suffering. So basically that bull was also dharma personified. धर्मराज थे जो धर्म सिखा रहे थे कि एक्चुअली हम जो भी सफरिंग हमारी लाइफ में आता है, there is no one person who we have to blame to. Nobody we have to blame to. There are so many factors, and the most important is our own past misdeed. past karma. So we have to just accept everything gracefully. Even whatever happiness or good thing happened to us, that is due to some good karma we have done in the past. तो अगर good karma का हमें अच्छा मिल रहा है, तो अगर कहीं तकलीफ मिलता है तो वो भी हमारे ही कोई bad karma का result है. तो हमें किसी को blame नहीं करना चाहिए. So this is the learning actually from that past time. Even that bull, he understood. He knew what is dharma and he did not blame that Kali. He said that, in fact, he said it in a way that, it is our own destiny which brings us happiness and distress. So Parikshit Maharaj understood his words, and he understood how great a personality that bull is also. That he is not blaming anybody, but he is simply accepting it as his own destiny, as his own past misdeed. Yes, so a devotee understands this. जब misery आता है तो he takes it as कि भगवान का कृपा है कि वो थोड़े में मुझे दे रहे हैं. Actually, I deserve much more misery because I am a sinful person. But Krishna is very merciful. He is reduced to very lowest. Similarly, Mataji will read further.
Similarly, when he is happy, he gives credit to the Lord, thinking himself unworthy of the happiness. He realizes that it is due only to the Lord's grace that he is in such a comfortable condition and able to render better service to the Lord. And for the service of the Lord, he is always daring and active and is not influenced by attachment or aversion. Attachment means accepting things for one's own sense gratification, and detachment is the absence of such sensual attachment. But one fixed in Krishna consciousness has neither attachment nor detachment, because his life is dedicated in the service of the Lord. Consequently, he is not at all angry even when his attempts are unsuccessful. Success or no success, a Krishna conscious person is always steady in his determination.
Yeah. So similarly, जब अच्छा समय होता है, when he is happy, he gives all the credit to the Lord, thinking himself unworthy of the happiness. He thinks, actually, I'm not worthy of this, but it is only Krishna's mercy that he has given me a comfortable condition, that I'm able to render service to the Lord. I'm able to chant. If we are able to chant daily, if we have time to read his book, to hear about him, that means it is Krishna's mercy completely. We should accept it as Krishna's mercy. And if we are grateful to Krishna for every small moment that he has given us, where we are able to render some service to him, then Krishna will give us more such time, where we can do more devotional service. But if we are ungrateful to Krishna, if we are ungrateful to the devotees, then Krishna will never give us that time. He will never give us that situation where we can chant rounds, we can hear about him. He will take away the time. This is what Maya is also doing, no? Those who do not want to serve Krishna, Maya Devi keeps them super busy in the material world. So they also say that way, right? We don't have time to read Bhagwadgita. We don't have time to chant the holy name. Why? Because they are so busy serving the Maya. Because they don't want to serve Krishna, so naturally Maya will take all their time. But if we want to serve Krishna, which is our natural position, which is our real position, and if we are grateful to Krishna, that Krishna, I'm so grateful to you, you are giving me time to chant your holy name, you are giving me time to hear about you, you are giving me time to associate with devotees. If we are grateful to Krishna like this and we thank him daily, then Krishna will give more such opportunities to us. So these are few things, very simple things actually, but this has profound effect in our lives. This can change our life, believe me. If you are grateful for every single moment in your life, be grateful to Krishna, whether good or bad. Just be grateful to Krishna. Tell him that, Krishna, I'm so thankful to you for all your mercy. And, I just want to serve you. I want to, please bless me that I can chant your holy name. We need blessings from Krishna only in order to serve him. So when he sees our sincerity, that this soul is really sincere, he really wants to serve me, wants to come to me, then Krishna makes all the arrangement. Then you will see how difficult things also become easy in our material life, because Krishna makes it happen. But if we are, if you want to cheat Krishna, or if we really do not want to serve Krishna, then Maya Devi cheats us. Maya Devi takes all our time and keeps us busy in the material world, and lamentation and hankering and running after the material happiness, that is what our life will become. So the choice is ours. And just practicing these very simple things, that being grateful and always thinking that, if there is misery and happiness, what should be our mood? If there is misery, I must take it as Krishna's mercy. If there is happiness, I must take it as Krishna's mercy. When there is misery, I must accept that it is because of my own misdeed. And actually, I should deserve more, but Krishna has reduced it. So I'm so grateful to Lord Krishna. And we take shelter of Krishna more and more. Not that we go away from Krishna, but we take more shelter of Krishna in at the time of miseries or during bad phase. And in good time, also we don't forget Krishna. कि अभी अच्छा समय चल रहा है, जानो दो. अब हमारा beatback side में हो गया. Now we will do party. We will go out. We will spend time with our friends and family because happy time. So no, even in happy time, we don't forget Krishna. We do our duties, our services to Krishna regularly. So this is how, if we are like this in every situation, never forgetful of Krishna and always being grateful to Krishna, remember him always, and accept everything as his mercy, then our life is successful. Because actually success doesn't depend on something in the future. Success is your everyday, how you are dealing your daily, how you are in your daily life, what is your consciousness, that determines your success each day. Actually, whether you are successful each day, after the end of the day, we should reflect, what all did I do, how I reacted in different situation, how can I be better, how can I overcome my anarthas, and thanking Krishna for everything, being grateful to him, asking for forgiveness if we did something wrong to someone. So all this being reflective is very, very important, either at the end of the day or start of the day or middle of the day. Whenever we get time, we should take out some time, reflect on our own activities throughout the day, what we are doing, how we are dealing with different situations, and always remembering Krishna, praying to him. This is exactly what is Krishna conscious life. So we will stop here. Any questions from anyone? So can we just revise what all qualities, characteristics we learned today of a person who is in transcendence? So first characteristic is the speech.
His speech.
Yeah. So how does he?
He always talks about Krishna, and he always keeps Krishna in his thoughts. So it's always for Krishna, whatever he's doing, whatever he's saying. All his everything is dedicated to
anyone. No criticizing anybody, no gossiping and anything. Yeah. And then second characteristic.
Has no, he's
No
not
sense
attached to
desire.
no sense desires. Yeah. No sense desires, and
he finds satisfaction in self.
Yeah, he's satisfied in the self. So you won't see him doing anything excessively running after sense gratification. Not that he will just run away from the material life. Whatever is needed to maintain his body and soul, he will do that. But he will not run after sense gratification or do any ugra karma to find happiness.
He'll be happy in his natural position in serving the Lord.
Yes. Yes. So he's so busy in serving the Lord that he has actually no time also to do any materialistic things to find happiness. Yeah.
So he just performs his duty without having any expectations of results, positive or negative. He just performs the duties because he has been instructed by Krishna to do so.
Yes, because it is his duty, like whatever situation he is in, it is his duty to perform that action. So he does that without any attachment, without any expectations. And
Mataji, what is the second characteristic? First is speech and second is?
Second is he finds satisfaction in the self. So he doesn't run after sense gratification.
Then if he is happy, he gives credit to the Lord. And if he is facing troubles, he thinks that the troubles are reduced by the Lord.
Yes. And one more thing. It is
He
reduced by
is
the Lord.
Mataji. Okay.
He is
And
unworthy of the happiness he is getting.
Yeah, but Krishna is merciful that he's giving me.
Yeah.
And when there is misery, he thinks that actually I deserve more misery because I am a miserable person. I'm a sinful person. But Krishna has so merciful, he has reduced it to very small. And third,
He is free from attachment and anger, Mataji.
yeah, he's free from anger, from attachments,
Fear.
from dualities. His mind is equipoised, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't get disturbed. His mind doesn't waver. His mind is very steady.
And we
So now how do we get this? Ek to we understood that how when miseries and happiness come, how we have to deal with it. And this kind of steady mind that we are all looking for, we can get it through performing our daily sadhana nicely. So if we are chanting our rounds very nicely, focused rounds, attentive chanting, try, because of course, our mind is very stubborn and it will distract, but we should try to focus, chant with focus and with attention. If we are hearing Srimad Bhagavatam daily, so make it a habit, make it a routine in your life to hear Srimad Bhagavatam daily. So ya to fir 8 to 9 o'clock who are housewives and who can hear the classes online, so 8 to 9 jo every ISKCON center has 8 to 9 Srimad Bhagavatam class. So you can hear online live every day, either Mayapur, Vrindavan, Juhu temple, Chapadi temple, any temple. अगर हिंदी का सुनना है तो दिल्ली के temples में हिंदी में होता है. English में तो other temples, all other temples mostly in English it is conducted.
This is
So we
morning
should-
or evening, Mataji?
Yeah, morning 8 to 9.
8 to 9.
Yeah. So we must make it a habit of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam daily. और अगर suppose ये live वाला आप नहीं सुन सकते हो तो there are so many recorded lectures. Even Srila Prabhupada's lectures, we must try to hear Prabhupada's lectures. He has his recorded lectures on Bhagwadgita and Bhagavatam both. That you will find on ISKCON Desire Tree audio, Srila Prabhupada's lectures. You will find all the lectures. So we must make it a routine. Even suppose अगर आपके पास 1 hour नहीं है, take out 15 minutes. You can divide daily 15-15 करोगे, आपके एक week में एक lecture सुन लोगे. So, but hear Prabhupada's lectures. So like this, if we make our routine, mind will become steady, and then naturally फिर वो characteristics आएगा. Naturally, you will see the difference in your own behavior. The things that we are reading here and which we are thinking it's so difficult. My God, how can a person stay steady? वो आप में खुद में वो changes दिखने लगेगा when we practice all this. Yeah. So, can I know how many rounds everybody is chanting now? Sujata Mata ji, आपका कितना हो रहा है अभी?
I'm doing 10 rounds every day, Mataji.
Oh, nice. Wonderful. How about Swati Mata ji?
Mataji, I had increased, but last month I was very busy with